Guaranteed minimum income is a system of social welfare provision that guarantees that all citizens or families have an income sufficient to live on, provided they meet certain conditions. Eligibility is typically determined by citizenship, a means test, and either availability for the labor market or a willingness to perform community services. The primary goal of a guaranteed minimum income is to reduce poverty. If citizenship is the only requirement, the system turns into a universal basic income. Elements: a system of guaranteed minimum income can consist of several elements, most notably, a calculation of the social minimum, usually below the minimum wage. A social safety net, to help citizens or families without sufficient financial means survive at the social minimum. This may be a transfer or, in some cases, a loan, and is generally conditional to availability for work, performance of community services, some kind of social contract, or commitment to a reintegration trajectory. Child support by the state. Student loan and grants. State pension for the elderly. Disability pension for the persons with disability. Differences between guaranteed minimum income and basic income. Basic income means the provision of identical payments from a government to all of its citizens. Guaranteed minimum income is a system of payments by a government to citizens who fail to meet one or more means tests. While most modern countries have some form of GMI, a basic income is rare. Advocates, in the first Muslim caliph Abu Bakr introduced a guaranteed minimum standard of income, granting each man, woman, and child 10 dirhams annually. This was later increased to 20 dirhams. In 1795, American revolutionary Thomas Paine advocated a citizen's dividend to all U.S. citizens as compensation for loss of his or her natural inheritance, by the introduction of the system of landed property. French Emperor Napoleon Bonaparte echoed Paine's sentiments and commented that man is entitled by birthright to a share of the earth's produce sufficient to fill the needs of his existence. In 1963, Robert Theobald published the book Free Men and Free Markets, in which he advocated a guaranteed minimum income. In 1966 the Cloud-Euro-Piven strategy advocated overloading the U.S. welfare system to force its collapse in the hopes that it would be replaced by a guaranteed annual income and thus an end to poverty. In his final book Where Do We Go From Here, Chaos or Community? Martin Luther King Jr. wrote, I am now convinced that the simplest approach will prove to be the most effective. The solution to poverty is to abolish it directly by a now widely discussed measure, the guaranteed income. In 1968, James Tobin, Paul Samuelson, John Kenneth Galbraith and another 1,200 economists signed a document calling for the U.S. Congress to introduce in that year a system of income guarantees and supplements. In 1973, Daniel Patrick Moynihan wrote The Politics of a Guaranteed Income, in which he advocated the guaranteed minimum income and discussed Richard Nixon's GAI proposal. In 1987, New Zealand's Labour Finance Minister Roger Douglas announced a guaranteed minimum family income scheme to accompany a new flat tax. Both were quashed by then Prime Minister David Lang, who sacked Douglas. In his 1994 autobiographical dialogue Friedrich Hayek stated, I have always said that I am in favor of a minimum income for every person in the country. In 2013, the Equal Life Foundation published the Living Income Guaranteed proposal illustrating a practical way to implement and fund a minimum guaranteed income. Other modern advocates include Hans Werner Shin, Are Beira, the Green Economics Institute, and Andrew Coyne. Funding: tax revenues would fund the majority of any GMI proposal. As most GMI proposals seek to create an earnings floor close to or above poverty lines amongst all citizens, the fiscal burden would require equally broad tax sources, such as income taxes or VATs, in order to fund such expenditures. To varying degrees, a GMI might be funded through the reduction or elimination of other social security programs such as unemployment insurance. Though neutral with respect to government finance, Milton Friedman also proposed a GMI in the context of abolishing minimum wages, which he argued unduly distorted labor market economics. The extent to which a GMI is designed to reduce or supplement existing social security programs can be seen as one of the unresolved cleavages amongst GMI advocates. more economically conservative, seeking to replace the bulk of welfare spending with a GMI, while more social or egalitarian proponents see the GMI as a component of a broader social welfare system. Minimum income examples around the world. Cyprus. In July 2013, the Cypriot government unveiled a plan to reform the welfare system in Cyprus and create a Euro guaranteed minimum income Euro unregistered trademark for all citizens, though this has been disputed. France. In 1988, France was one of the first countries to implement a minimum income, called the Revenu Minimum d'Insertion. In 2009, it was turned into Revenu de Solidarité Copyright Active, a new system which aimed at solving the poverty trap by providing low-wage workers a complementary income, thus encouraging activity. Other countries. Brazil, Bolsa Familia, Canada. Each province is responsible for implementing their program. In copyright Beck it is known as Pianita Social or Social Welfare. Denmark, Social Bystand. Finland, Toimeentulotuki, Germany. Liechtenstein, Austria, Socialhilfe, Iceland, Far Copyright Lageleg or Degree Sto Degree, Ireland, Supplementary Welfare Allowance, Luxembourg, Revenu Minimum Guarantee, Netherlands, Algemeen Bijstand, Wetwerken Bijstand, Norway, Starnad til Livsophold, Portugal, Rendimento Mínimo Garantido, Spain. Several schemes exist depending on the region. Sweden, Socialbidrag, Switzerland, FR Revenu Minimal de Copyright Insertion, UK, Income Support. See also, Basic Income, Constitutional Economics, Guaranteed Annual Income, Guaranteed Income Supplement, Guaranteed Minimum Pension, Homelessness in the United States, Living Wage, Revenu Minimum d'Insertion, Social Credit, Social Dividend, Wage Slavery. References. External links. Basic Income for All. Philip Van Parijs, Boston Review, Social Minimum in the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy, Guaranteed Basic Income Studies, How It Could Be Organized, Different Suggestions, About a Guaranteed Basic Income, History.